this was sort of a popular meme at the time. The idea that you need to clean up your diet first before you take a supplement. And I'll let you guys define what you mean by clean up, but I think it's total bullshit. But I want to know what you guys think. You don't have to agree with me, by the way. You can say I'm full of it.
No, I've never heard that before.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I think that's the most loaded.
Can I ask a stupid question?
You can ask stupid one and an intelligent one at the same time.
I don't know if I'm good for intelligent, but like, am I scrubbing my foot? Like, what do you mean by clean? Like, I feel like
Well,
generic term.
It typically, for instance, it typically applies to, let's say, a high school wrestler. Okay, high school wrestler wants to put on muscle mass, but what do high school kids eat? They eat junk. They eat pizza. They eat burgers. They skip breakfast. They eat Pop-Tarts. Oh, but he wants to take creatine because creatine might help him put on lean body mass. So the typical reply that I've been exposed to is like, well, you got to fix your diet first before you take a supplement, which of course has no basis in science, but people love to say it because it's virtue signaling and they feel good. So that's why
both at the same time. I don't understand. Yeah.
Well, of course.
Everyone do both at the same time, but I don't like the idea that, like, if I eat fast food one time, it doesn't make me healthy. Just like if I eat a piece of broccoli one time, it doesn't make me a vegetarian. So like, I just don't understand how, like, and this is also coming as someone, I guess I should preface that, like, my favorite, like, midnight snack has varied from, you know, like tasty cakes, cupcakes. So right now I'm on a peanut M&M kick. Like I eat a lot of quote unquote, not standard RD food. But I really,
I think I can kind of contest to that. This is literally just sits on my desk.
yeah. One time I ate all the frosting off the cupcake. I had these mini cupcakes that I bought. There was like a pack of 16. And in the middle of the night, I just ate the frosting off it. And my husband came out and he was like, I can't eat these now. And I'm like,
do you see how she and I are the black sheep? You have to understand the other people in our class were very health conscious, almost like what's the terminology for someone that's too healthy? Is it orthorexia? Orthorexia, like to where like they would have a bag of carrots in their purse, and maybe they liked carrots. No judgment. I'm just saying Cassie and I tend to be the ones with the M&Ms in our purse, and you would get these looks sometimes of judgment, and it's just like, look, not everyone's diet's the same. Not everyone needs the same amount of certain vitamins and minerals or even protein. Everyone's diet's different. That's why nutrition is not a one size fits all approach. And that's why, like what you were saying with someone who's on a performance diet, you know, you're not going to get what you need from a food first approach. You have to supplement. It's just not going to work. And so, like Cassie was saying, I don't think because you eat something one day is going to totally destroy your body or your diet, or because, you know, you change every day. Your hormones change every day. Your activity level changes every day. So I don't get that. I think just do your best every day, not even every day.
Well, it also depends on the goal of the person. So if this person is wrestling, I mean, yeah, we can make suggestions, but at the end of the day, the best suggestions are going to be one that we adhere to. Wrestler, and you tell him like, don't ever eat pizza again, he's probably going to be like, yeah, okay, and then turn around and like does what he wants. So like trying to find, I guess, the happy medium of like, okay, these are the foods that are going to like support you doing like your sport in terms of getting you to like, I guess, your weight goal or putting on more mass, but here's a way of still enjoying your food, but still eating in a way that supports like your goal and your performance goal too. And I think that's something that like should always be looked at too, is when you're talking to someone like I'm not eating for a performance goal. I'm eating because I enjoy food. Like I don't have a specific performance goal. Like when you talk to an athlete, their approach is going to be a lot different because their goals are a lot different and their life is centered around a specific performance goal, whether it's their food, their sleep habits, their training schedules, what their recovery looks like, social life is all going to be influenced by what their current goal is.
Tony, you had a comment?
No, well articulated. Really, I don't, you know, I've not heard that as often too, the clean up the diet in advance type philosophy, but yeah, I mean, well, clean eating I hear all the time. But to Dr. Ray's point, I've never said don't take, you know, I don't often hear don't take the supplement until you know, until you clean the diet up. You know, but nevertheless, start both as quick as you can. If you're an athlete, hey, try to eat better, get some foods you need. You can take some foods in you don't need because your training volume's so high, and get the supplements you may need. Pretty simple.
I think the other way it's framed is a crappy diet on supplements is still a crappy diet.
Exactly. Right.
Which,
Yeah.
and my point is, okay, so.
My also
Well, does that-
argument is that if you're stranded on like a desert island, Oreos will keep you alive if that's all you have. I mean, you might not be in the best health shape by the time you get rescued, but let me tell
I
you,
will choose Oreos over carrots if I'm on an island.
Right?
I want calories.
Oh, carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what Tony was saying, and I just know from the small amount of time that I spent with some of the athletes at Nova and their strength and conditioning, like a lot of times they were traveling and on the road and they're given a food allowance, but that food allowance is so small. It's
Yeah.
not like they can go buy
Exactly.
the stuff they want unless they all pool their money together and have someone go to Publix, and then you're having somebody responsible for cooking, and that's not feasible for them. So they are eating at Chick-fil-A, they are eating at Panera, they're eating at, I can never say this right, so I'm going to say it wrong, Chipotle, whatever that
Chipotle.
Yeah.
so that's where they're eating, because that when you're on a budget, especially in college, I mean, come on, I ate ramen a lot when I was in college, among other
Silly
things.
ramen, what are you talking about? It's like
Uh,
the greatest meal ever. But some shrimp and steak and lots of veggies and you got a whole meal.
But these comments, like he's talking about, make people like not want to eat something, which I think ends up being more detrimental, because at the end of the day, an athlete needs energy and calories. Like ideally, sure, if we can get it in nutrient dense foods, that's wonderful. But like to what Tony was saying, like most nutrient dense foods are also the foods that you need in like large volumes, because
Very large.
they're not very energy dense.
Exactly.
So, like,
Exactly.
supplementation is going to be necessary, because you're going to have to eat these foods that are more energetically dense, that might not have the most amount of nutrients, just to support the sheer volume of training that you have
That's right.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we way back when we did some of those high protein diet studies, Cass, do you remember the vegan bodybuilder?
Yeah.
I think he had to do between 6 and 8 protein shakes, and it was vegan shakes, just to get protein in, because there's no way he would ever get that through food. You'd be eating all day. It's just not possible. So there's a pragmatic issue with, the whole foods first and clean up your diet and all that BS, because you're just not going to do it. It doesn't make sense. I mean, Darren Willoughby, who's probably the largest scientist we know, says, he goes, bro, my jaw would be tired if I had to eat just foods for protein. So I'm doing supplements, brother. So,
Yeah.
so even guys that big, it's there's a pragmatic issue to it. So, but I know when I've been asked, in terms of working with teenage kids, and usually guys trying to gain weight, that I almost always hear, at least from the parents, that will he fix his diet first? I'm like, no, I ain't fixing nobody's diet, because people don't change their diet. If they want to eat like shit, they'll eat like shit. And especially a teenage boy, you think a teenage boy is going to fix their diet?
Right.
Hey, Tony, you were once a teenage boy. Would you have fixed your diet?
Well, I'm fortunate my diet was pretty good, but I believe in getting a couple. Here's all I'll ask him, because to your point, I'm not going to ask for a complete revision of the diet, but I might say, guys, can you get me a couple of these in a day? Just give me a couple of things you need. I'm not going to stop you from eating pizza and going out with your buddies and getting some ice cream. That's not my point. Just throw in a couple more chicken breasts for me here and there, and then we got a deal, right? Because at that age, their caloric expenditure is so high.
Crazy
Right.
high.
Right. So what I do is try to negotiate with them just to put in a couple of things that they absolutely need, and don't always replace something half decent with a complete junk. But you're not going to get the kids at that age to do it, to exactly to your point. And and then as far as the parents go with the supplements, what amazes me, and you all have probably run into this a lot at the high school level. I don't know how many times, even to date, I hear, I don't want my son taking that. I don't want my son touching whey. I don't want him touching the creatine, but they zoom right over to Sonic Burger right after practice and eat, get a 78-ounce Coke